I get that question a lot. Is this a fad? I mean, fundamentally, no. The forces that are driving sustainability, these natural resource pressures, real constraints in how much water we have, how much stable climate we have, those aren't going away. But the real story, I think, is the stakeholder changes, the pressure coming from your own business customers, greening of the supply chain. That's not dying out. I was just at a meeting in Beijing where Walmart brought together all their Chinese suppliers and told them about sustainability and told them that they had to comply or they were going to drop them. So Walmart's not slowing down. They're just one example. The forces are still there. So this isn't going away. And in fact, it's a better way of doing business. And that's why companies like Walmart are pushing, is they've discovered it's a better, more cost-efficient way to do business. So why would you go back? It's not a fad if it's better. I think the percentage of consumers that will buy green or not at all, or will pay more for green, is still very small, and that may not grow. The group that's growing fast are the conflicted consumers, or the conscious consumers, and there's lots of different definitions for that. That the conflicted consumers are ones who want it all. They want price and quality, of course, but they also want to know where a product came from. They want to know it's low energy use. They want to know that it's not toxic. That group is growing very fast, and they expect no trade-offs. And that's, easier said than done, but some products are doing that. And I think that's the solution for a lot of industries, is give people what they want at the same price and quality, but give them the environmental attributes as well. I assume we're going to see a lot more of this. I mean, look, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not an expert specifically on plastics. I will say that this is why we need to look at the full life cycle of things and really understand what we're comparing through the full value chain, including distribution of these products, use of them, reuse of them, end of life. In some instances, like in energy, the source of the material matters tremendously. Corn-based ethanol is a fairly stupid idea. Cellulosic ethanol, where you're using waste products, is a much better idea. So I think the same thing applies in plastics. Where is it coming from, and where is it headed at the end of its life? But yes, closing those loops is where we're headed. In general, and this is true across almost every product category, more recycled content is better. It lowers the footprint. I think some of the data that we've heard at this meeting says that the production of plastic, going back to the feedstock, the oil, is the biggest part of the footprint. That's where there's huge emissions. So if you can be using recycled content, you are eliminating that sourcing and feedstock footprint of all the original petrochemicals. So there's a huge reduction in using recycled materials. That's almost always true in almost any product category. Plastics is right in the middle of, I think, many of the pressures. Some of the big environmental issues that we're going to see companies asked to take a lead on include toxics, energy use, climate change, and plastics are involved in all those. Toxics in particular, what's in everything, is becoming a very big question. The transparency up and down the supply chain, asking what's in everything, is going to happen more and more, and consumers are going to say, why is something bleaching, say, from this plastic into my baby's milk? And you can't win that battle with science, even if you can show that it's safe. There are just feelings around these things that are going to be very compelling to people, and so those are very big questions. But there's also a huge opportunity for plastics to, say, lightweight materials. There's a motor company making little motors that uses less metal and a lot more plastic, and it makes it more efficient. So there are growth opportunities in the plastics industry that I think will outweigh the reduction from, say, plastic bags or some other uses that plastics probably are going to move out of.